Oh boy, I'm in trouble now. Hello guys, so my no food on July 31st, 2022 video has gone crazy, but boy, am I wrong. So in that video, you can go watch it. I will link it, guys. I was talking about how all these people are talking about how there's going to be no food on July 31st, 2022. In that video, I was talking about how I don't think they're right. I think we will have food and the store shelves won't be empty at the end of July. But I had comment after comment telling me how. I had no idea what I was talking about. I didn't factor in the diesel costs, the supply chain issue, the transportation issues, the fact that farmers aren't able to get their crops harvested because they can't afford the diesel, and on it went. So I wanted to address that right now because everyone thinks I'm just a boob and have no idea what I'm talking about. When I said that I don't think that we are going to have completely empty shelves on July 31st, 2022, I was taking into account all of those things. Now, I guess I didn't get that across in my video very well, but here's the thing, guys. Yes, I know that those costs are going to go up, and that's why I said you should be stockpiling now, because if nothing else, you might get a 20 or 25% return on your food budget if you buy it now and stockpile it versus in a few months as the prices are continuing to rise. And yes, I do know that there are supply chain issues. I have my own issues. I am a self-published cookbook author. That means that we pay for the printing and we have to do the printing ourselves and store the books ourselves for our cookbooks. Believe me, when our books were stuck 6 months trying to get here last year, I totally felt the supply chain issues. I know that's what's going on. That's also why I keep telling you to stock up. You should at least have 3 months worth of food in your house, if at all possible. Now, I know some people live in an apartment. Some people are elderly or disabled and can't physically do it, or they don't have enough money to do that. But the thing is, you can do something now to help yourself. It's just whether you want to or not. I have been in pretty much everyone's shoes. I have lived in an apartment. I have lived on disability, $300 a month. And yes, it was very difficult, but you know what? I was still able to find good deals and to stock up on things. It's not going to necessarily always be easy. Butter was on sale for $2.50 for a pound here, which is really good now. It used to be $2 a pound was a good price. Now $2.50 is a good price. The regular price at the store was $4.99. So I went to the store and stocked up on 40 pounds of butter to put in my freezer and my refrigerator. But guess what? It was only if you had the app for the store. I ended up spending like 40 minutes trying to get the stupid app on my phone and getting my account figured out, because my account has never worked correctly at that store for the little card thing that they all have now. But was that worth my time? Yes, it was. I was able to save $120 just buying that butter. That butter will probably last us at least 9 months. Even with doing extra on my recipe videos and my recipe testing. All of this is not just for us personally, but some of it is my business. But even with that, it should last us about 9 months. Was that worth 40 minutes extra time to save $120? I'm sorry, but I don't know of any normal person that makes $200 an hour, because that's how much you would have to earn to equal approximately that same amount if you go by hour. It only took me 40 minutes or so. So by the time you take out taxes and all that stuff, you would need to earn about $200 an hour. Is that worth your time? Yes, it is. Calculate the time on these things, guys. That same store that same week had ketchup for $1 a bottle. barbecue sauce for $1 a bottle. They had pork on sale for $1.47, I think, a pound. They had several things on sale, and I went just to that store. Now, that particular day, I only got the butter because I already had the other items on hand. But guys, this is how you save money in the long term. You buy when it's cheap, so when it's high, you can spend that money on other things aside from paying higher prices for groceries. And the point of these videos is to get you to do something now. When I lived in my little apartment and my rent was $150 a month and I got $300 a month disability, I was still able to find things on sale and have at least several weeks on hand of extra food. It's not an all or nothing. It's a do something little every single time you go to the store or every single day. When you do the little things like buying 5 extra cans of vegetables or 5 extra cans of fruit or 5 extra cans of chicken or 5 extra bags of rice, every time you go to the store, those things will add up. And you only have to spend $5 to $10 each time you do it. If it's once a week, that's fine. If it's once a month, that's fine, but do something. I think this is one of the biggest frustrations that people who do the prepping type videos have. I've noticed that some of them seem to be getting worn out, having to say the same thing over and over again because people just keep making excuses and they just don't want to try. And for those of us who are always used to being prepared and prepping and stockpiling, we can see hindsight because we see how super easy it is. We can tell you how great it feels to not have to worry about if my city, which is at the end of the supply chain, basically, I mean, if the roads are cut off and we can't get out and goods can't get in, my city will be toast. I know that at least my family can make it for 6 to 9 months on the stockpile that we have. If you want to see the stockpile I have, I did a video on that and you can go watch that video to give you some ideas. And I would love for you guys to comment. Tell me the things that you're doing, even if it's just something super simple like saving all your newspapers so that you have a nice stash to start fires, or saving your twigs so that you have nice kindling to start a fire if you need to cook some food outside. It's these little things, and some of them don't even have to cost money. I get a little city newspaper in the mail, and each week I just save it. And now I have a nice little collection so that when I need to start a fire, I can easily use my newspaper to start a fire. Or if we need toilet paper, we have toilet paper, and we're not having to go out and use leaves yet. Guys, comment below and let me know what are the little things you're doing to help prepare and help stockpile and help to get yourself ready for any type of emergency. Guys, go watch this video on more ideas how to stockpile and visit us at livingonadime.com. We will see you guys next time.